I'm still processing the influx of people who found our last video. Over 140,000 of you watched, and as a tiny channel, that was just wild to see. The feedback has been overwhelmingly supportive, and I am so grateful to see that something I created has resonated with so many of you. With that also comes judgment and projection of negativity. Evidently, not everyone listened to the entire video to receive the message I was trying to convey, but we'll chat about that later. Success is often an outward aim, all about how much we can achieve and how we appear to others. It starts young, before we can even conceive of what's happening. From getting good grades in school, to which college we're accepted to. Then the next level of expectation is moving into an affluent neighborhood, having one of the biggest houses on the block, with the luxury cars parked right out front. And then we spend the next 65 to life hustling, grinding, and striving to pay back all of the debt. And so on it goes. This is the happily ever after, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of it. Aside from the fact that people will then judge you if you don't have or desire all or any of these things. You must be a failure, lazy, unwanted, lonely. But what if none of those ideas of success are real? They're just the roadmap to a well-paved path society sets out for us. To be worker bees and cogs in the wheel of corporations, and to be taxed on the money we earn, taxed again on the money we spend, and ultimately taxed forever on the things we own.
Wow, it fully lit again after it was out. That's crazy.
To me, being tied to debt in order to say I own something doesn't align with my idea of freedom. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, and mortgages are what keep us stuck in the system by perfect design.
Breakfast tacos in the making.
I had to learn the hard way through first-hand life experience, which is why I am taking a stand after years of planning and thinking about it. Finally taking the leap and making a massive change, to feel fully present and grateful for each moment before me. To feel excited again, to be alive in the here and now. And that's the no BS truth. And I get it. It's seemingly impossible to break free from the outdated systems at play entirely, and it isn't going to be easy, but there are loopholes. I am still very much a part of the systems as you are, especially anyone who is projecting out their pain and fears onto strangers on the internet. We as a people need to reconnect with our hearts and with our humanity. And remember, united we stand, divided we fall.
Come here. Oh. Come here. Oh no, she's got the zoomies. You're crazy.
So I'm deciding now to trade chronic burnout and people pleasing for a look into alternative ways of living.
Little squirrel up here. Jemmy's locked in.
Truly create a life that reignites an internal flame and nourishes my mind, my body, and my spirit. It can feel scary to take a path less traveled and to be seen trying. But for me, moving forward, it's a non-negotiable. You're welcome to join me. The time for change is now. Ooh, look at this feather. Pretty. Like that blue to it. Cool. Love that. Get little sticks, pine needles. It's like my fire poker. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Just trying to keep the chipmunks out. If you have any tips, I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, you too. Sorry, my puppy's over here. Come here, girl. People will try to call your self-care and preservation weak or selfish, but empty cups can't pour into others. Gentleness with yourself is the key. I can no longer shrink back into places that no longer fit, or become as small as possible to make others feel comfortable. Growth is uncomfortable, and I simply have to keep going for my Gemmy girl, for the people who love me, and for myself. I don't know if we're actually ever gonna get a fire or if it's just gonna be this little time. I don't quite know. It's not going swimmingly. More dead pine cones. Let's see. It's no fire starter, just making it work. Demi's in full chipmunk mode. So the good thing is, at least you can hear me now. I did hear your feedback on the last video. So noted, I have a mic on. Also, I will be adjusting the music levels to not overpower my voice. So let me know in this one if you notice an improvement. So I saved some of your questions and assumptions so that we can go through them together. An assumption I saw was I won the lottery and I'm disappearing. That would be really, really nice. I would love to have won the lottery and just have endless funds to do whatever I please, but no, I did not win the lottery. Another assumption is that I am out here because somebody broke my heart, somebody left me, and now I'm just a lost soul. My heart is not broken currently. No one has broken my heart. And I'm very much consciously solo traveling with intention. Of course, with Gem. Without her, I don't think I would enjoy this nearly as much. Another one is a life of leisure and escapism isn't the answer. Unless you're independently wealthy, you need to find balance between work and play. Valid. I think the biggest assumption that was made off of the title was that I was quitting my job and never working again, just living in the van forever. Never said any of those things, but I guess that was implied from the title itself and the people who didn't actually listen to the entire video and get the message. I did not quit my job. My previous employer actually strung us along for about 6 months saying that we were merging with a big company and it was going to be great opportunities and all of these things, but really it was the company was going broke and getting bought out and being dissolved. So that's that. I was working full-time up until July when all of that happened, and it wasn't ideal and it wasn't part of the plan. I planned on working that remote position for as long as possible to save as much as I could. So now I just need to pivot, and I'm looking for other remote work, and also I really am interested in doing some kind of work camping or work stay where I can park and stay on property and bring Gem with me. So if you know anything, let me know. Another one is, explain to me how you're quietly quitting when you're posting a video on YouTube for millions to see. Millions? No, actually that thought is kind of terrifying. I know a lot of people try to go viral and gain fame and fortune and all these things from the internet. I've never done any of those things. I've never tried to grow on any platform. Even when starting this channel, I did not really think about how I'd feel being seen. I mean, obviously I knew I was going to be seen to some extent, but it was kind of more comfortable when I was only getting a few hundred views, you know, from people who were leaving really kind comments and people who really get it. And then once that starts happening, the algorithm pushes the video further out to people who may be interested in similar things, but may have zero interest in van life or full-time travel or doing anything solo or living in a way that doesn't align with what's normally expected. I kind of like to relate it to like when you turn a light on, when you turn your porch light on, or you set out some beautiful flowers for the pollinators. Not only are you going to attract the beautiful butterflies and the hummingbirds and the bumblebees, you're going to also attract the flies and the mosquitoes and the fleas and the ticks and the parasites, and that's just like par for the course. People with good intentions and there's people with bad intentions. Polarities exist on this planet. There are kind people and there are really cruel people. There's hot and cold, light and dark. This is just part of being a human on this planet, and especially right now. It's a bit darker than it's been in a long, long time. These are scary times being on this planet and in this country and really anywhere. It's a scary time for children. It's a scary time for the impoverished, the homeless. There's a tax on the homeless now to imprison them. I mean, obviously the situation with people being scooped up out of their homes and I have the hood up because there's some chipmunks that are trying to make a home out of here. And if you have any chipmunk advice or other critters, I haven't had any kind of issue like this, but there's a ton of chipmunks here. And I think there's one in there. Oh shit. Let's go see actually.
Jemmy, what's in there? Is there a chippy in here?
There's gotta be, because she would not be having this reaction.
Excuse me, chippies. You gotta get out of here. You can't move in, okay?
Oh my God, there it went. All right, Jemmy, good job, girl. Oh, I gotta stoke my fire. It's 5:55. Time for positive change, honey. I saw some of you ask what camera I use and what mic I use. And up until this point, I have not used a mic. I've just used my iPhone. I've had this DJI camera. I brought it I think Black Friday of last year. I've really never used it. It's just so much easier just pulling out your phone, I feel like. But I think given the feedback with the sound and everything else, this will be beneficial. Okay. Where were we? I would say the leisure aspect of it is much less so than the moving and the seeking and the adventuring. I mean, I've seen more in the past few months than I've been able to see in years of my life. I've gotten to spend unconditional every waking moment with Jemmy, and she's so happy, rather than me leaving to go to an office or a bedside job and leaving her for 8 to 12 hours a day, which obviously I didn't leave her alone. I had a cat at the time, so it was Gem, and the cat comment that's coming, that's pretty funny. But I had an awesome, beautiful kitty at the time who was also a rescue I found on the street, and I brought him to the Humane Society to get him checked to see if anyone had reported him missing, to see if he had a microchip, and he didn't, so he became mine. And that same with Jemmy. Jemmy was a street dog from Ensenada, Mexico. She had a really hard couple of early years of life. When I lived in San Diego, I went and volunteered with an animal rescue group, and we went down to Mexico. We were bathing the dogs and feeding them and taking them for walks. And she actually came from a really horrible place that was claiming to be an animal rescue, but they were really just marketing online to get donations and then barely keeping these dogs alive. They were sick, they had diseases and wounds, and it was awful to see. She wasn't there when I was there. She had already been in a foster home being rehabilitated for adoption. And then I fostered her for, I think, a month. I really wanted to make sure she was going to get along with my cat. And once I did a super slow introduction with them, and my cat kind of put her in her place, and I realized she wasn't going to hurt him, because she does have a really high prey drive, I would say. That was history. And that was in 2019. The comments that I received about Gem are my absolute favorite. So I wanted to let you guys know, thank you so much for seeing what a sweet, beautiful, loyal girl she is. We're so tuned into one another, and I trust her fully, and she trusts me, and it took time to even build that trust between us. It wasn't just a a golden retriever vibe who loves everybody, which I love all dogs. She had some trauma that she really needed time and help with. And I think we're the perfect team. I know we were brought together for so many reasons. And I know a lot of you thought I said her name was Gemini because I said Gem and and I didn't enunciate very clearly, but her name is not Gemini, it's just Gem, Gem, because I kept saying, oh, you're such a sweet gem, you're such a rare gem, but it's just Gem. She's perfect, but I do love the name Gemini. I think that's great. I mean, and again, the kind comments of you telling me that my video brought you a sense of peace, that it calmed your nervous system, that it got you excited about your plans to do this as well, and it was encouraging. I had a lot of women reach out to me saying that they are going to start solo travel, or women that have been on the road for years and years on their own, and that's so beautiful, amazing, wonderful. I love that. I'm definitely a girl's girl, and I want to connect with other women and have that community. In no way am I saying I'm against men. There are amazing, incredible men out there as well. Me and my girlies and my nurses that came through, I love you so much. I wish you nothing but the absolute best, and I look forward to continuing to communicate with you. I will say, aside from the how I make money comment, which I'm going to make an entirely dedicated video to just money and like what the van cost me to build and what aspects I paid professionals for, and that was a huge chunk of my savings. A lot of issues with what the professionals did, yet me as a complete amateur and my dad, he built homes, what we put together have had no issues. So interesting how that happens. But probably the second biggest comment or question I received is from fellow nurses saying like, how did you leave? And I briefly touched upon this, but I started working remotely as a nurse in case management back in 2020. I was initially in the office, and then we transitioned to fully remote. And after that, I just was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to sit in an office and commute and hire a dog walker every single day, be away from my animals and my home space for 9-10 hours a day, or 12 plus, working hospital shifts, and then coming home just being completely wiped, having zero energy, take a shower to wash the filth off of me, and then I would just want to wind down and decompress. I really didn't have any energy to enjoy my life, and I did feel like I was just spinning the wheel and working super hard with little benefit and little fulfillment, and it should be an even exchange. It's not like our life's work should be something that just takes. I think more than even the money aspect is the time. You can never get back the time that you're giving to these companies, and trust me, they do not care about us. We mean nothing. And I was an incredible employee. I was constantly complimented with accolades, and I was asked to do special projects and basically take on more work. I was promised raises that I didn't get at that last job, and I kept being told, oh yes, it's in the works, just be patient. 6 months go by and never happened, and then the company goes under. That's another person that I've been grieving, is a very kind soul, a coworker of mine, and she was an older woman. She was in her past retirement age. She was like heading towards 70, and she would always call me and just tell me like, make sure you plan for your future, make sure you live your life and enjoy it, because she was just had busted her ass her whole life, and she was ill and she was struggling, and she ended up passing away like a month after the company dissolved. And I just think that's sinful. Like, she worked her whole life and dedicated her life to other people. And what did she get? She got illness and burnout, and she died without ever being able to retire and enjoy her life. So, like, leaving comments like, oh, you're just lazy, you don't want to work. I've been working since I was 17 years old. As soon as I could drive a car, I had to get a job. Even when I started earning nursing money as a young 20-something, wanted to start making my own money and get my own place. And when really it would have been smarter to just have that support to take my time and not rush, and would have benefited me to be able to save it and to learn financial literacy and have a nest egg for myself and learn how to invest. And those are the things we're just not taught, you know, like they don't teach us that in school. And like, I feel like our parents weren't taught that. So like, how would they know to teach us that, you know? I mean, these are hot, bright red embers though. So this baby is gonna be burning. I'm not gonna reiterate what I said in the video. Like, there's people who watch videos to just react and throw out their opinions. A lot of people don't, you know, listen to understand. They just listen to respond, or worse, react. And there's definitely some of that. And it's so interesting how that video all unfolded, because I really didn't expect it. And I have hundreds of photos and videos on my phone that I've never shared before. So I've been doing this a really long time and not sharing it with anyone. So I figured, why not share with people who are interested in it? And I think it's actually at like 130,000 views right now, which that's 130,000 people, which is insane to me. Over 5,000 of you thumbs up the video. Hundreds of you left beautiful, kind comments. And then there's, you know, handfuls that just know that I'm down there responding and reading and want to try to hurt me for whatever reason. Obviously, that's misguided and misdirected energy. That's precious, siphoned energy that I'm never going to get back. So I'm not going to be feeding that anymore. And that means either dialing back from the channel or just limiting what I'm sharing, maybe not being so vulnerable. You cannot please everybody. Another thing I love about this is just getting to look however I feel like looking. Like, I want to look like a bum, and I want to wear mismatched color clothing, and I can, because I'm at a campsite. Usually I'm in the middle of the forest by myself, so it really is irrelevant what I look like. Like, I'm not here to be pretty. I'm not here to be a people pleaser. I'm not here to try to get everybody to like me or agree with what I'm doing. I'm just here living my life, taking a journey, taking an adventure of full-time travel. Okay, so let's get into some of the meanies. Meanies. You guys, got a new one 3 hours ago, actually. What a dream to live in a Walmart parking lot with a laugh cry face. Actually, I gotta save this so I can put it on the screen. Well, clearly living in parking lots is not the dream, and that's definitely not my goal. It's literally just from point A to point B. Sometimes that is what happens. It's a means to an end. You've been driving for 5 hours, you're exhausted. It starts pouring raining, like it was in the clip that I put in. So I stayed at a Walmart for the night, which is actually lit up, safe, and plenty of other travelers stay there. So it's really not that crazy of a concept, but where are the meanies? Where are the meanies? So Brett, like I said, too lazy to work, which is why people do this. This gentleman, or I believe, said, all about retirement age. You're wasting your productivity years. What medical insurance, pension, assets, savings will you have at age 60 and over? That's valid. Now, the second part, he, again, had to add in and project. All of your BS words mean nothing to reality. Live and learn. If you only knew the life I've lived, the amount of hardship and struggle and grief and loss and illness and various other things that I'm not going to trauma dump right now, I would be hard pressed to think that you would still say something like that. This lady says, unreal how soft people are since the 1980s. So all of us, anyone 1980s and beyond, we're the worst. She's insinuating that my vulnerability and me leaning into being soft is weak, and I disagree. So actually, thank you for noticing my softness, because I had to live in a way where I had a hard shell for a long time. She then commented again in a separate comment, because that wasn't enough for her, saying, "Leave America if it's so bad." Shows the state, like the mindset of people right now. Everyone's sitting home watching their one biased favorite news channel and thinking they know everything. And if I do leave the country, which is a possibility, it won't be because you told me to. All I can say is happy, healthy people, or even people who are hurting and healing, aren't going around leaving these kind of comments. It's really people who are just super, super unhappy with themselves and their lives. And it's unfortunate. And then there's some that are like funny. Someone says, "Want some cheese with that?" with rolling eyes, obviously saying like, "You want some cheese with that wine?" Saying I'm a complainer. And then another one, "Oh, muffin," with a baby bottle. Again. I just love those. Those two are like some of my favorites. Credit where credit's due. If you're gonna be an internet bully, I guess, make it funny. And not like vicious. Another one. It's a male's name, so I'm assuming a male. It says, "Come join my all-female commune in Colorado on 7 acres. No expectations. Free healthcare and no bills." Oh no. That actually sounds kind of amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I've had like kind of funny, but like kind of also like partially serious conversations with some of my good girlfriends about that. I'm like, should we just start like our own, I'll buy like several acres? And I mean, that's honestly a great idea. So I like it. Okay, so now we're getting into a little bit meaner territory, and I'm just gonna literally touch on like 2 of these. This guy says, "What would you van lifers do without your dog and coffee? End it all?" And that one was just like icky to me because, or no, I don't know if I can say that word, but people ending themselves, right, is a really big deal. And you never know like what someone is going through, and you say something like that to them. And like, what if you're the catalyst that pushes them to that? Like, do you really want that karmic weight on your soul? Ooh. And yes, this dog is my heart and soul. She is my family. She is everything to me. I'm a huge animal lover, always have been. It's a dream of mine to own a lot of acres, rescue a bunch of animals, grow my own food, and just be more self-sufficient and live more simply. And the reality is the internet is part of where we're at. It's 2025. It's not going anywhere. And I think it's actually really cool to see older people starting YouTube channels, and some of the most beautiful comments I got were from men and women in their 60s, 70s, 80s cheering me on, saying that they wish they had taken life into their own hands sooner, while they could, while they were able-bodied. Like, these are the people I'm doing it for. People are saying thank you for showing me places that I likely will never get to see with my own eyes. Like, how beautiful is that? What is wrong with that? And then we're going to wrap it up with this doozy, because you could tell this person is just, this is what they do. A little trail of hatred follows them. They say, "Woman's in her 40s and living in a van. Her kid was taken from her." Oh, I didn't even notice that the first time around. Apparently I have a kid. "Her ex dumped her, and now she's a soon-to-be lonely die-alone cat lady. Slay queen." That's so loaded. Like, I don't even know where to begin. One, I'm not in my 40s, so I'm just a natural human being who's not 22 anymore. And yes, I'm going to show signs of aging, so I'm okay with that. I do not have any children other than Gem, my little fur child over there. Like I said, nobody broke my heart. Nobody dumped me. I've been consciously solo by choice. And if I were to die alone, it would be surrounded by tons of dogs. Good luck finding yourself and your path, and life will leave you the lessons that you need to learn. But the same commenter is also commenting under beautiful people leaving kind comments on my channel, saying the same thing to them. So yes, those comments, the reactive, the hurtful ones, They are going to live and die in the comment section. They're not going to be getting any more of my energy or attention. What I will not tolerate ever is hate toward the people I love, toward Gem, or towards the beautiful people who are commenting and sharing their vulnerabilities and their stories. Knowing that my videos can bring somebody calm and peace and calm their nervous system or bring them comfort is the biggest compliment I could ever receive. So moving forward, if I see frequent handles leaving the same nasty remarks, continually harassing others or dropping negative energy, I'm just going to block you and remove you from the channel, and there's no hard feelings. This channel is just not for that kind of energy. And to everyone else, again, thank you truly for all of your kindness. It's already surpassed what I could have expected, and the amount of people resonating with this message far outweighs any of the negative comments. So in the next video, we're getting back to travel. We are picking up where we left off. I have seen so many beautiful places throughout Colorado and Wyoming and California that I haven't shared yet. So I'm really excited to get you guys caught up on that from the end of the summer until now, transitioning into the cozy fall season, which I love. It's middle of October. It's fire season. It's getting chilly. And I'm looking forward to getting caught up on my footage so that I can be real time speaking to you week to week and showing you what we're up to. So what I did here, my fire's getting puny. Fire's getting puny. Name that movie. I wrote out some prayers, intentions for transmuting negative energy and the parts of society I'm quitting. Stand by that. And I wrote out just a few things that I'm looking to bring into my life and a few things that I'm ready to let go of. And I find this to be a really just enjoyable practice, and you throw it into the fire. And let it all go. Oh, it's getting cold. So as I say every time, thank you for being here with us. And we'll see you on the next one.